Good evening. Demon Phil Comics in More, New Jersey here with another interview this evening, and this one's going to get interesting. This is somewhat of a new artist that I picked up on my radar thanks to some of my friends on here. And well, let's just say her work speaks for itself. You're going to enjoy this. So on top of that, we're actually going to do a live draw that she will be doing while we're doing the interview. So she will have something that should be completed by the time we are done with the interview, which will be amazing. I have seen her in action working on some other things, and it has really come out well. But in preparation for this, if you're just coming in, if you will please go hit that share button so that we can go ahead and get this put out there as much as possible and get some more people into the audience with this. And if you are here, go ahead and jump in the comments and let us know you're here. Hey, Jim, what's going on? Welcome to the show, buddy. Make sure we're sharing this out. We want to get as much exposure on this as possible. Tonight, I have Ivanette Rivas-Fornier that is here. She goes by Eve, makes it easier on me as well. And just making sure everything is set up on here before we go ahead and bring her up. We got about another minute and a half. We're going to bring her out on here. So definitely share this out. Let's go ahead and try to get some more people in here and see what's going on. Hope y'all are having a great evening. Hope everybody's staying safe, washing your damn hands, all that kind of fun stuff. All right, so just before I bring her out, I just want to go ahead and say thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up tonight. And hopefully everybody's having a good evening and staying safe as best as possible in the times that are going on right now. I know times are tough and all, so I'm just trying to do my best to go ahead and bring some information, some talent, and some fun directly to your computers or your phones, just kind of help out the way that I can. I can't draw to save my life, so at least I can go ahead and do something a little different. So here's what I do. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring Eve out here so she can go ahead and introduce herself. And here is Eve. Welcome to the show, Eve.
Alrighty. Hello?
Hey, welcome to the show.
Let's see here.
Can you hear me okay?
Audio is not quite picking up on my behalf, but that's okay.
We've been having fun with the technical a little bit.
Let's see here.
Hey, welcome to the show.
Hey, everybody. Just real fast. Your audio is not picking up on my end, but I also got the live playing on as well. So
okay. I know there's like a 30-second or longer delay on there.
Let's see. Hey, everybody.
Do we need you to go ahead and jump out real quick and come right back?
But I also got the live playing on as well. So.
Never a dull moment on my shows. 30-second or longer delay on there.
We just might have to jump. Hold on. I will jump and then I'll come back.
All right. So she's going to jump out real quick. We're going to see if we can fix this technical issue on this. It was working in the test prior to, but I know I've got some storms in the area. I know just in general with the internet, it's just getting bogged down everywhere. So give us just a moment. Be patient. It'll give us a little bit of time to go ahead and share out and try to get some more people in here, hopefully. All right, she's working on coming back in. And again, thank you all for being here. Thank you for going ahead and watching. It's never a dull moment, and especially whenever you have some technical issues, hey, you roll with the punches. I'm not going to go ahead and stop. I'm going to keep going live. So if you have to look at my face the entire evening, sorry. But it looks like we won't have to go that direction because here she is again. Let's see if I can bring her in.
All right, I heard you backstage. Let's see if I can hear you now.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Perfect. Now the world works right.
Welcome to the show, Eve. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having me here. I appreciate you bringing me here.
Oh, absolutely. After seeing what you did in the live show that you put on a couple of weeks back for Luis Torres, yeah, I definitely needed to get you on the show, and that's where we are right now. But you drew a character of his, I believe it was Lily the Demoness that you were drawing.
Yes. I was actually really excited when he gave me the description of Lily the Demoness because he messaged me. He's like, oh, yeah, I'm interested in having you do this cover or like doing some pinup art. And I said, okay, cool. Sounds like a fun time, et cetera, et cetera. And he first mentioned, he said, you should get some Lady Death vibes. And I'm like, all right, now you got me hooked. And if you're telling me that the work is going to be like that, that means I can go over the top with detail and like morbid and dark themes and making sure that your character looks powerful, because I'm all about making any female character that has a power or has the strength of some sort look the part. Instead of the skinny usual that you see, and don't get me wrong, I love a skinny, sexy woman, but I also like a woman that has a little bit of power, like it visually conveys power. So I was over the moon, and there I was, just 2 hours into it, not even realizing 2 hours have passed, just enjoying it. So I'm really excited to get it inked up and see the colors thrown onto it, and we'll see how that works for Lily the Demoness. I'm very excited to see it all together.
Yeah, I am definitely excited to see it as well. Like I said, from pencils all the way to the end where you started kind of shading a little bit, and that's what we saw after, I believe it was like 2.5 hours on there, and it was amazing.
Thank you. I'm still with the mindset of trying to get better with my work, so that's how I approach every piece that I'm doing. I always think of some new thing that I want to get better at, and definitely the Lily piece was one where I was like, all right, let's give her a dynamic pose. Let's try to get some Frank Frazetta pose vibes in here. You know, Frank Frazetta was really good with drawing women and making them look really strong. Oh my God, was he really good with that? So I wanted to make sure that if I was gonna do this cover for Luis the right way, I was definitely going to prove that I could.
Well, I saw that it was very interesting that instead of going ahead and doing a drawing and doing the whole messenger back and forth or email scenario, you were like, you know what, let's go live. I like that.
Yeah, because I feel like with indie comics, I feel as though you want to get as much your fans, your real hardcore fans, into your work as much as possible, and see what's going on behind the scenes, because a lot of the hardcore fans really want to know, like, okay, what you got, what can you show us at least a sketch of what you're working on, or the lines or the inks, or a section of the script, something. Give us something to chew on for a little bit while we wait in anticipation.
Absolutely. Now, speaking of which, we haven't even discussed, what are you going to be drawing tonight?
So tonight, I've been dying to draw Donatello from the Ninja Turtles, only because he's like the most detailed and the coolest, really the coolest one of the whole group. And I wanted to give him a real turtle-esque vibe as much as I could, while giving him that mutant vibe. So we're doing Donatello. Love him or hate him, that's what you're seeing.
There are a lot of turtle followers out there, so I'm sure they'll be loving this as well. But just being able to see something drawn, very well and very detailed as much as detail work and everything you put in there. It's going to look very nice, I'm sure.
Yeah, I really want to make sure I kind of sort of do him justice with the whole sewer. I live in a sewer with my master, who just happens to be a massive New York rat. Um, so I kind of want to make them look a little bit rugged. Like, I want him to be wearing a t-shirt mask that he got from an I Love New York t-shirt that just happened to be purple. So I want him to look rugged. I want to make sure that any Ninja Turtle fan like sees it and like, whoa, looks like he was straight out of the sewers and not like some cartoon that is not a turtle, but some weird human thing that we're supposed to believe is a turtle.
Now, let me ask you a few questions here as you're going
Go
along,
for
of
it.
course. So, what were some of the most influential comics that you had in leading up to you getting into comics?
All right. Most influential, probably my first comic series that I got into, and to be honest, comics are something that's fairly new to me. I got into comics like 5 years ago. I was 15 when I got into them. Yeah. So it started with Tank Girl. And I got into Tank Girl because I am a big Jamie Hewlett fan. I also believe the man is Banksy, but that's a whole nother story. Um, and I just love to see his work on the gorillas, and I loved seeing it grow. And I heard that he did Tank Girl. I'm like, hold on, he did a comic? So I look back, and it's this wild comic, just full of little nuggets that are all pop culture references. And he was a big punk dude, so they're all punk references that I don't understand, because it could be A, that I'm too young for them, or B, uh, that they were more popular in the UK. So that could have been one possibility. But as I grew into comics and I started reading more and more, um, it just so happened, not that I was intentionally looking to get inspired by female characters, but I just got into She-Hulk. I got into Starfire. Of course, their 80s versions were the best versions, so I fell in love with the sensational She-Hulk and the Starfire comics, where she had the big, fabulous, big poofy hair. And I read her backstory, where she was, where her sister tortured her and subjected her to everything, and that was awesome. But as I kind of started searching for different things, and I found out about Preacher the show and realizing it was a comic, I started reading Preacher. And then right now, actually, I've been binge watching The Boys all day. And I was like, oh my God,
Hmm.
there's a comic. And oh my God, it's by the same guy who wrote Preacher. So now I have to get into it. So the comics that influence me more today are actually comics that reflect the ugly truths of today. And that's kind of how I want to go about my storytelling in the future, once I'm able to do so at a certain point, which will be very soon, hopefully.
Very nice. And there's a lot of them that you've mentioned in there that definitely have some serious footholds into getting into not only drawing comics, but actually having the insight and the passion to go along with it while you're doing it. Because then you no longer just draw just for a paycheck. You're actually drawing to go ahead and, I'm not going to say make a statement, but it's more of just making awareness.
Yeah, I just believe that comics are the ultimate version, like the ultimate storytelling or visual art thing that you can come across, and they've just been so overlooked. But most of the social commentary happens in comics, and it's so overlooked by artists who are very highbrow, and even those that are considered lowbrow. It's overlooked, and I kind of want to bring about the art of storytelling, and put some reflection of what's going on today into it. And
Hmm.
I believe that if I believe the real storytelling happens when you make multiple different stories, but kind of like around a certain theme, you know, like issues, and they're not always going to be based around a character, because you can build up a character, yeah, and you have something to build up stories off of, but I feel like it's more interesting to diversify yourself and build new stories, you know, and challenge yourself. Like, what can I investigate? What can I learn about the world, and what can I learn for myself, and how can I teach it to people, and how can I show them my view of how I see things? So that's just how I like
Absolutely.
to approach things regarding comics, and what I would like to see myself doing in visual storytelling.
Absolutely. And that kind of brings up my next question is, how did you actually get your start in comics?
So my start actually happened when I had a chance encounter with my now really good friend and my mentor, Will Torres. I follow Todd McFarlane on Facebook, and I comment on everything Spawn, because I got introduced to him and his artwork and the story of Spawn. And I was like, man, this man is so inspirational. But back to meeting Will Torres, I happened to comment and I'm like, you inspire my art, etc., etc. And this man messages me. He's like, hey, I'm doing a comic, Saint of Assassins, and I would like to have female creators do some pinups for me, and I would love for you to do some art for my book. And I'm asking around, and I'm asking my parents, I'm asking my buddy who like owned a comic store at the time, and I'm asking everybody, like, does this seem real to you? Is this sketchy at all? And I just went with what my gut was telling me, like, just talk to the dude, and he said, you got the stuff that it takes to do comic art. I'd love to help you out on your journey. I feel like there's something here. And ever since, he's been helping me out. If I have a question, he helps me out. Um, I did a pinup for him for his story, Saint of Assassins, which will be coming out soon in October. And we're doing definitely some more fun projects on the way. But I guess that would be my start in comics, and what kind of encouraged me to really pursue that passion. Definitely all starts with Will Torres, and I have so much to thank him for, really, because he has encouraged me, he has pushed me a lot to really go after this dream. Because it's really not something easy to make reality. It really isn't. And I had to prove to my parents, like, I think I can follow this path, but you just got to let me prove it. And they've backed me up, and I just showed them, like, hey, I'm doing this and that. And that's kind of just how I figured out I was going to end up drifting into comics.
And it seems like it's definitely working. I mean, because you're definitely getting a foothold and beginning to get more notice on different platforms and different things that you're doing as well. Uh, so how, I know that you're currently going to school as well, correct?
Yes, I'm a full-time college student as of right now.
So how are you juggling school and your art?
I have to slap myself in the face every time I feel overwhelmed and say, this is the path that you wanted to take, and you can cry about it all you want, but if this is really what you want to do, not everybody follows what they want to do because it's so hard. Just suck it up, Buttercup. Untie the knot in your underwear and just do it. Like, yeah, my plate is pretty full right now, but I honestly couldn't be happier. I work with youth stress, and I'm just so happy for all these opportunities coming up, and for the ability to just push my art to its limit, and find some new things to improve upon, and further prove that I can do it. I'm like the little engine that could. I just try and try and try, and I just try and do it. And
And that's
although
the
I'm
best way
like
to do
doing
it.
a bunch of yeah, and although I'm doing a bunch of different stuff right now, you ask me, if you were to ask me 5 years ago if I was gonna do comics, I probably would have told you no, because I'm currently following the animation track, but I'm doing that now with a switched mindset to use what I learned from the track to support my storytelling and how I make my characters dynamic in the future.
And you can definitely see that you have an arsenal of different styles to use on there, because I mean, like I said, we saw Lily. I've seen some other ones. We saw a she spawn, if I'm not mistaken, was one of your other
Yes.
real big pictures that you had done. And then now we're going to Donatello tonight. So I mean, it's not like you're stuck on one style only. You actually have adaptability in there, which is excellent to have.
Yeah, I believe that if you're going to follow this track, this is a personal belief. I don't have any foundation to say it. I'm not a professional in no sense of it, but you should not just stick to one kind of character. You should just don't just stick to drawing women, don't just stick to drawing men. Try to draw everything, because each art piece that you will do, it's going to lend itself to doing some really badass ones, and whether it's male, female, hybrid, creature, whatever, and you kind of just want to market yourself. At least me saying it, I'm not a professional in any sense of the word, but I feel as though I just want to market myself as, yes, I can tackle on anything that you throw at me, because I've done it all, and I'm willing to do even more, even things I haven't encountered before. You just gotta go with a growth mindset for it all. So that's just how I see it.
Absolutely.
Not necessarily a diverse style, but I'll definitely tackle on anything and give my input. I'm here because I want to strengthen your characters, not to make them look like everything that you've seen before, but to make them look probably better and even improve your story, sort of in a subconscious way.
And that's a good mindset to have on there, because it gives a different perception to an older characters at that point. You're not just going, here's the same character but in a different pose. You're actually changing up the way that it's perceived, which is very good to have that kind of mindset.
Thank you.
And
I've been working really hard on it.
Yeah, Russell came in here. I just want to say he's been in here in the audience. Says hello to both of us. So what's up, Russell?
Sup, Russell, and sup, Jim. I see you, Jim. Oh, by the way, speaking of Jim, yeah. So I had mentioned Lewis, and through Lewis, I have met both you and I've met Jim. And Jim messaged me. He's like, "How do you feel about sexy clowns?" And I'm like, "Sexy clowns." I mean, okay. Back to the whole diverse character thing. I was open to accept it. I love the idea of a clown being sexy, so I just said, all right, what are we gonna do? And so prior to starting up the live, I was showing Phil off some of the behind the scenes of what's going to be coming out soon. I'm really excited for y'all to see it, and I hope Jim is. I think we're all pretty excited to see this come out. I'm very excited for the opportunity that Jim gave me, because it's something so different and eclectic. And also I've always wanted to do an adult comic, which is what Totally Rad is based off of. It's a whole universe of adult stories that are comedic and silly, and also reference the 80s, which is my era, but not my era, because I was born in 2000. I just happen to like things from the 80s. But I'm super excited for that.
Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. And yes, you heard it correct, that I did see this prior to the video, because if you know Jim, just the fact that he's going ahead and saying, and this is most of his opening statements, is how do you feel about sexy clowns? That right there alone should let you know that Facebook doesn't allow us to show a lot of pictures that Jim would have. So we're not going to show you what I saw. So right now it's for these eyes. Ha 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 ha.
And Jim's eyes. Y'all are just gonna have to follow the Totally Rad page and all the updates if you want to see it in the future. But for now, it's only got limited eyes, friends.
Exactly. But definitely be watching Jim on what he's gonna be coming out with that, so that you can get this whenever it does come out, because it got some good stuff. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. God damn it, I'm gonna make sure it's cool. It's it's gonna be totally rad, man. It's gonna be totally rad.
Exactly. He's going to start putting the title in there all in caps now. It can no longer have any kind of, less than caps in there.
And then you're just gonna hear like a sick guitar riff follow the um, totally rad title.
Now, let me ask you, as far as whenever you're drawing, do you prefer the digital or do you prefer just working with what you're doing right now with the paper?
I actually prefer a mix of both. So I love working pencil and paper because it's easier to handle certain issues or like mistakes or fix certain things, pencil and paper. And the inking is, yeah, I could either do digital or traditional. I like the feeling of just having my hand to the paper, but digital gives it that clean look. Regarding colors, I definitely prefer digital a lot more. I had a lot more experiments with color theory via digital, and that's where I feel like coloring abilities shine through the best because right now I can color traditionally. It just takes a lot longer because I got to plan out the color theory versus traditional, where you can just delete the layer and then start fresh. So it becomes a bit of a pain.
Yeah, and it can do that as well. But I mean, it's good that you had the versatility to go ahead and work between the two because, like you said, the lines come out a lot cleaner and everything whenever you do the digital. But then again, you have the purity of whenever you do it on the paper. So it just depends upon how the story is going and what kind of story it's going into on how it needs to look.
Exactly. And also I like being able to offer myself as a versatile artist, hey, you want something digital done? Yeah, bro, I got you. Oh, you want me to send you a comic board of just the pencils and have your dude over there ink it? Sure, I got you. I can do that for you. I just like having that versatility available and once more like proving that I can do just any task that you give me. Like, oh, you want a short, sort of amateur, crappy animated video? Yeah, I could do that because I'm doing that right now.
Now, that brings up another question that I've got here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask the question, and then I'm going to give you full screen so that we can see the sketch there a lot better. But the question is,
Go for it.
Are you adept in sequentials as well as your covers?
I would like to say I am adept in my sequentials. So far, and I think I could show you this because it's just my project, a personal project. This is something I'm currently working on for my animation class, and I wanted to make sure I emphasized a bit of the visual storytelling that I wanted to do, but on a simpler scale. Um, I can't go crazy with the paneling because I have to take pictures of each individual panel, but I've got the body sort of in rotation, so you see it uh, frontal view, and he rotates sort of clockwise around, and the hatching gets darker and heavier, so it implies a bit of a really dark mood. Despite finding this little ball of light, it almost feels bleak. So I'd say considering where I'm at and how much of the sequential stuff I have done, I'd say I'm pretty damn good for just being amateur. But also, come May, once finals blows over, I do have the idea to write my first narrative, like narrationless narrative, no speech bubbles, no nothing. It's all just the visuals and all the hints that you can grab. That's how I'm gonna go about that, and I want to improve my sequential starting from there, and then make a bit of a short series of it with my buddy.
Well, that sounds great, and it actually brings up where you have the versatility on doing that as well, because a lot of people are looking for covers, they're looking for sequentials, they're looking for all kinds of areas in there, and so that just kind of ups your resume a little bit for that part. I will
Yeah.
say that in the comments we do have Larry, Larry Patrick Haynes from Rebel Comics and Gaming. Thank you for being here, Larry. He didn't know this was happening. I know that's my fault. I did not put out the post in
Larry.
time on there. That's why you got to share this thing out. And
Yeah,
Jim
what's
has a question.
good, Larry?
Jim has a question saying, have you had any
Oh,
covers published yet?
I have not had any published covers yet. However, I can't say I can give out too much yet about this particular cover I will be working on. I'm going to be doing coloring, a coloring job for a cover, so it will be my first published colored job cover very soon, and that will be it. Then it will be, I believe, Jim and Lewis. So nothing yet, but it's actually just all starting to fall on my lap. So we're gonna definitely get that worked in, and I'm very excited for those opportunities, especially since they're all very different in their own right. It kind of is just very fun to jump around like, all right, I need something fun. All right, I need something to do detail work on. All right, I need bright colors here. I need some dull colors here. So it's very fun right now. Fun time.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of work that's available for you to do, and it's a lot of fun with I know with the guys that are in here right now, it makes for some very interesting covers, so you're definitely going to have some fun with that. And yeah, I'm sorry, Russell's putting comments on here. He always tries to trip me up, and he usually succeeds, so I'm just going to warn you of that right now.
It's all right. I see that.
There's a lot of there's some history between me and Russell on some things, not bad by any means, but it just creates a lot more attention to what's going on, and it's also going to create a future in what's going to be happening on my brand as well. So thank you, Russell. I will say that with kind of a squinted eye look on there, because it's like thank you, but thank you. So yeah, he knows.
I feel
I'm
that.
good with
I
all these guys
understand.
in here. And Justin Hunt is in here. Hey, what's going on, Justin? Thanks for coming in, buddy.
Hey, Justin. I appreciate you joining. Sorry, I'm not utilizing my wrist movement too much. He gave me
And
some
Jim says,
advice, and I might be scolded for it later.
and Jim says that he is going to make sure the Totally Rad cover you do is the first published.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I am all for that.
I'm excited, and it's going to be such an interesting cover too. I always thought it was going to be a great idea to do it. I never thought it'd come so soon, and I'm just so excited to do something adult, sketching, eating ribs, watching the Up and Corner. Up and Corner.
Up
All
and
right.
Comer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I saw
I
that
have
wrong too at the first.
astigmatism, and
No, I saw
my
it first.
eyeballs fail me.
Mine's old age. I can blame it on that.
Mine is just from watching Teletubbies in front of the screen as a baby for too long. That's what I blame my eyesight on. It's so bad.
And Joseph Bruno is in here. I actually know Joseph. He says hello to me. Joseph, thank you for being in here. He is a photographer that's in the area over here that does a lot of the cons and things whenever they're going on. Right now, he is not doing so much, but he will be working on quite a few things. And Joseph, I'm going to tell you right now, keep an eye on her. Whenever her stuff starts going up there, you need to keep an eye on that. And we're going to get her up here to Jersey at some point, and you're definitely going to have to come over and take some pictures.
Heck yeah. And then I actually, oh yeah, no, that would be so exciting, because I know I'll make the plans someday to go over there. After all, I do have a buddy, my mentor, to think up there, so I definitely have to go.
Oh, exactly.
I plan to do it all.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And yeah, Joseph, I hear you. I feel you. Same thing. I'm ready to get back out there, but I'm waiting until it's absolutely safe before anything happens with that. Better safe than sorry has never been more of an accurate slogan there.
No, actually, funny thing is that I was swearing up and down that Tampa Bay Comic Con was going to be my first con, and it was going to be this year. And well, everything happened, and actually, I couldn't be any happier with the timing, because it means that this gives me the perfect amount of time to really kind of refine myself. Because I would have gone in to Tampa Bay Comic Con honestly with a very simple setup, um, and not a lot of the best work, because I would have been so worried about setting up a booth versus doing my best work. So this time has honestly been the best thing that's happened. So that next time when I do a con, and hopefully they come around soon, because I miss the idea of like being excited to go to a con and already planning my con friend group and who I'm gonna see. Also, when Tampa Bay Comic Con happened, there was an artist that traveled. I believe he's a New York native, artist Buzz. I
Hmm.
always enjoy seeing him, because I think that's like the first artist I went to and had a long conversation about art supplies, and I still have the art pen that he gave me, which is honestly the nicest gesture. I didn't think artists would do that, like give me a supply that they use religiously. So I keep it here, and it's such a nice reminder. And a couple of his prints, they inspire me a lot too.
Very nice. Very nice. Joseph Bruno asks, "Living Corpse Buzz."
Living Corpse Buzz? I don't know. All I know is that he his handle is Buzz Artist. I don't Not too sure. He has done a few Vampirilla covers, and he did an Elvira cover. I think he does quite a bit of work with Dynamite, but regarding that title, not sure about that one.
Yeah, and there's no telling, because apparently I've got another title that is quickly being attached to me, which thanks again, Russell, for that. Oh, okay, he draws the living corpse.
Oh, he draws the living corpse. I I would have never known. I knew he did uh, quite a few Dynamite covers, but I other than that, and also I think some DC, but didn't know he did that art. I'll definitely have to look into it. I follow him on Instagram, but I haven't seen anything post up lately.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly which one they're going. I know I've heard of Artist Buzz, but I haven't heard of the other one. And Justin
What?
is asking, "What are you sketching today?" So I am going to give you full screen so you can go ahead and let Justin know what you're sketching.
All right, my friend. I decided I was in the mood to draw a Ninja Turtle, but more turtle-esque uh, than what you see right now with like the weird toon look. So I'm doing Donatello. I'm just improvising all of the cool things that he'll have, because I like the idea of also making sure that they seem like they came from the sewer, and that they didn't just get all of this cool leather equipment from anything. I want it to seem jerry-rigged and rough. And when I think about it, I feel like the backstory to his mask is that he found an "I Love New York" T-shirt that was purple and ripped it up and said, "I like this color. I'm gonna put it on my face." Same with the other three. And Master Splinter's probably just wearing some dude's robe, which is actually probably true. Whether or not my story version is is spot on. But that's just how I like to think of it. I kind of think of something having a narrative when I draw it.
Yeah, it's
So
definitely coming
now just
together. I can definitely see where
yeah, I
it's coming
use my
together on
kneaded
that.
eraser. Yeah, I use my kneaded eraser so I can just lightly dust off the rough sketch, and then go in with the finer lines.
And it looks like Luis Torres just joined us as well. Hey, Luis, thanks for stopping in.
Welcome, Luis. How you doing, my friend? I also kind of want to emphasize his zygomatics, because with turtles, I was looking at rough turtle anatomy, and I'll go off a lot of tangents. You'll hear me like just drop random words because I just like to think like his cheekbones are going to be right next to his eyes if he does have a zygomatic bone. So there's that.
See, whenever I drop random words, it's usually whenever I'm worried about getting a Facebook ban right afterwards, so I got to be careful of that.
I feel that. I definitely feel that. I always thought like when I was gonna, because I felt like the opportunity was gonna come, when I befriend artists, oh my gosh, they're gonna see my Facebook page has a bunch of memes, and now I have to stop posting memes and seem more professional. And then you talk to them and you realize, oh my gosh, these guys are just as normal as you are. In fact, Ariel Diaz made me feel so comfortable about the fact that I share memes, because that's all she does share. Besides her artwork is just memes. And I mentioned it in the comment. I was like, you make me feel so comfortable knowing that I'm not the only one that posts memes.
Now, your mention about Ariel Diaz, that kind of brings up another question that I want to ask while you're doing this. And again, I'll give you full screen so that you can go ahead and show off after I ask. But who are some of the most influential artists that you've dealt with that have kind of just really stuck out there to you and helped you out with things, that kind of deal?
That I met, well, definitely mentioning one is Justin. I never would have thought that this dude, as talented as he is and as busy as his schedule is, I saw his line work for one of the covers he did, and I think the one that stood out to me, it was he gave a sneak peek picture of a boot, and it was shaded in. It was a high heel, and I'm like, oh my god, that looks gorgeous. And then I realized that he's doing all this work for Lady Death, and it's so badass, and doing all of his own things. And he offered to help me improve my skills. And I never would have thought, like, man, I never would have thought that somebody would have the time of day to offer me their advice. Another artist that I love to listen to and kind of interact with on their live streams is Will Russell. He's a fun one to talk to, mainly because he's always live every single day. And he's always got something interesting to say. Now, regarding stepping a little bit away from artists, I mean, and there's also Will Torres. Will Torres has just always been there and has always given me the guidance that I needed to pursue what I want to do head on. And he's like, just don't be nervous, do this and that. And he's never really led me the wrong way either. And that guy's a treasure. He's really good people. And I have so much to thank him for honestly encouraging me and telling me that I do have what it takes. Because sometimes you feel like it's too good to be true, to be told by some people like, yeah, you're good, you can definitely do it, and you're like, okay, yeah, whatever. But to have somebody who's in the industry and actually cheering you on and wanting to help you, that makes me feel so good and so warm inside. Like, you have no idea. Like, Justin and Will giving me their advice, I really cannot just put into words how good that support feels with such a, I guess, competitive field too. So it's really good. And then there's Corey also, who I never would have met if it wasn't for Robert and Deanna. Because first of all, I was doing a small time gig at a local comic shop just not too far from my university, and it was on Batman Day, I won't forget. And this lady rushes into the store, and she rushes towards the back where I'm sitting there, and another artist who has a comic and an established setup, a really nice one. He's there selling his stuff, and it's really cool. And I just had like 2 drawn blanks, and a few prints that the shop owner wanted to make and have me sign and sell. And she comes in, she's like, I'm here to see this young lady, and picks up a cover from me. And I never thought that there were fans out there that went around and told people, like big people, their names and such, but these people willingly and actually just voluntarily went around and said, check out this girl, check out her art. And through that, I met Corey, and Corey's given me advice, and he's offered himself, like, hey, if you ever need any advice, if you ever have any questions, you just let me know. And that's part of the reason how I'm in the Creators Corner in the first place. And that's my TED Talk on that one. Corey's also been there too. And I'm so excited for him and the Creators Corner because it's been really good, and he's managed to arrange it in such a short amount of time. Which, by the way, now that I'm on that tangent, I'm going to be featured in the Creators Corner Conline event May 2nd from 8 to 9 p.m. So I'm really excited for the opportunity that Corey gave to me, because he messaged me and said, hey, are you in or not? This is your chance. And I said, yeah. And granted, I accepted it, and I won't lie. You know, a lot of people will tell you, yeah, don't admit that you're nervous, but I was really nervous because here I am. I'm going to be exhibited next to a bunch of established artists who already have their really cool setups. They have their amazing portfolios, and I'm going to be going after one of the coolest people in the industry, and I'm an amateur. I guess I'm an up and comer, you know. How I need to sell that pizzazz. How can I do it? How do these people do it? So just a lot of racing through my mind.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've definitely got all that going for you. Now, I want to say before we go on with this, Justin put in here, he has to bounce. Young lady, you keep getting at it. Thank you for the kind words. World is your oyster. And he says to me, he needs tasty cakes and pork roll, and we will talk vamps later. Oh yeah, we're gonna be talking vamps later. That's for certain, buddy. Yeah,
Vamps.
Well, actually, I need to talk to you about that too, but that's going to be after the interview.
All right, sounds good.
So yeah, it's whenever you go to the cons and everything, it's. I think I said it on one of my other interviews that I had just recently, where I was talking about that we actually, if someone comes in and they're looking for Spider-Man or whatever, they can pretty much throw a rock and hit somebody that's doing a Spider-Man. But if they're coming in looking for, you know, my kid's not really into, you know, the regular superhero things, I need something that deals with bullying or something. If I know there's a table that they're selling something like that or promoting something like that, then I'll tell them, hey, you need to go over to that table. You need to go to this.
Yep.
So it's good that people are actually doing that, because it does show the unity within the creative community on what we're doing to go ahead and get people out there. So that being said, is kind of why we're here tonight with Eve, is because of Lewis going ahead and reaching out to me saying, hey, she's going to be doing an online drawing interview basically for a cover job. Do you want to come take a look at it? And I was like, sure. Am I qualified? And he was like, well, you know, I want you there. So I was hoping that meant that I was qualified. He never answered, but we'll go with, hey, I'm going to go with I'm qualified.
Yeah, he mentioned, he's like, you got these good people coming for you, and I know them. I can give my 100 honest word. And I was like, bro, I don't even get any weird vibes from you. So I trust that 100%. And here we are. And we've been having some good conversation. Jim's always sending me clown stuff. Like every day I wake up in the morning and I see a clown emoji in my inbox, and I'm like, oh shit, what did Jim send? What's the clown of the day? So
yeah,
it's just been really cool.
I get that too. Now, let me see. Lewis says, I anticipate seeing Eve everywhere in the coming year, which I agree with that one. I think that this is going to be the new big name that's going to be coming out of 2020. And if it's not already happening, it's about to, because we're going to make it happen. Joseph Bruno says, if you're into vampires, the original Dark Shadows is on at midnight on Decades TV. Joseph, we're actually talking about Vampires of New Jersey, the series that I don't want to get too much into because I'm not taking away from Eve on this one, but the Kickstarter that's going to be happening next month. So you'll be seeing a lot more about that here very, very shortly.
Go for it. I'm actually curious. I might as well be curious with the rest of them.
And Larry says, do not forget to look up for Vampirella Strikes. Oh, yes, the book that he was looking for because of my live book sale. I will look for that, Larry, I promise. And Jim says a lot of sexy clown stuff. Yeah,
sexy clown
a lot.
I love it. I look forward to seeing it every day. I'm like, I'm just gonna wait for my message from Jim. What's gonna be the sexy thing today? And then I hear the ping, and I'm like, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Russell says, so on May 4th, do you send the Kylo Ren clown Jim?
Oh my God.
So, Russell, I'm going to tell you right now, and I don't think Eve's going to mind on this a bit. On May the 4th, I will have Jim on in a live interview. So everyone that's here right now needs to know about that and be prepared for that one. There will be 2 interviews. There will be the interview that I can go ahead and have on Facebook. There will be the after hours party interview on YouTube afterwards. So I will give y'all both of those whenever that comes available.
Hell yeah. And I'll be there. I got to support my clown, my clamily.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Jim, you are absolutely correct and very wrong in that, but it is true. He said that I get it during interviews to make my face red, and yes, he does do that.
Wow.
Let's see. Larry, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and say it, Larry. Larry wants me to tell Eve that he is your number one simp.
I see him simping. I see you simping, Larry.
Oh, Lewis, don't go into what a simp is. Not right now.
No.
Larry will be all over this show. And there he goes.
That's honestly
he
been
answered
his
that quick.
favorite word. His favorite word.
Russell, you were definitely getting an invite. That is an absolute promise on that. I want everybody there for that. We're having fun with this. We're going to even start doing kind of an after hours, just get on board if you want to get on and talk and shoot the breeze about some comics and some things going on in the world. As long as everything stays positive, I am fine with that, and we'll just have some fun.
Heck yeah. God.
And all right, we've got quite a few people in here. They're talking up a storm right now, which is great. Now, let me ask you while I've got you on here, what has been your most challenging assignment that you have done so far?
My most challenging assignment. It was actually really interesting. Now I got to think about it.
Well, that's what I like to do whenever I ask the questions.
That's actually a good question. Now I got it. Now I'm going to sit back and think. So far, I think maybe my most challenging assignment was my first pinup job, which was for Will Torres, for the Saint of Assassins, because it was at that point that I started getting the growth mindset to, all right, I want to challenge myself. I want to introduce new themes to my art. And so I created his main character, Rose, in a seated position where she's got her katana, her sword, through one guy's head. She's kind of like got a throne built out of dead bodies and a dead body like hung behind her. And that was really tough because you can't go on Google and say, all right, let me look for a dead body pinned to the wall. Like, you can't find that. And obviously I have to refer to like the most grotesque stuff because you just want to make it as convincing as possible. And also I reference the Cross comics and their covers and how they went about gore, which is something I want to actually start reading soon. But that's another story. But that was a really, really challenging board because that was, first of all, that was my first time working with comic board and it was it's so big.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh my gosh, this drawing's gonna take forever. And my pencils were really heavy then, so I was erasing a lot. And he said, you gotta make it as detailed as possible so I can ink it. And I said, okay, so that means I think that means I have to input the feathering technique into shading certain things. That was difficult. But
Mm-hmm.
since then, because of that project, I've been trying to incorporate different things that I can do to improve the technical side of my art. So I'm not that nervous to be taking on difficult projects. However, on my own, I do try to take on difficult drawings, like Donatello here. Not quite easy, but also that just makes it more fun to draw. And I think that's why I have a hard time thinking about what's difficult to take on or whatnot, because the difficult ones are the most fun ones.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree, and that does bring up where you've got a lot more stress on you because it is the first one, and then of course you can't really look up that much on Google because eventually you're going to get a knock on the door from people who actually talk into their wrists. So you want to be careful of that.
Yeah, I try when I do a drawing, and the reason why it takes me long to do one, like Donatello, honestly, any other artist who was doing a regular bust could have finished Donatello in like 30 minutes, like a sketch in 30 minutes. But I like to kind of create them on my own. So I'll have the mental image of what I want to see, and then I'll like look up, all right, let me see a picture of a domestic turtle. Let me see a picture of Donatello. Let me see a picture of spy gear. For me to create one original piece, I have 50 other references pulled up so I can kind of guide myself to that. I
Mm-hmm.
believe that, and I had mentioned this before, I believe that the best artists in the industry that survive the best are the ones that can create their own original takes on characters while keeping within the guidelines. Um, and yeah,
Oh, absolutely.
keep it original and yet use your style. Don't try to use um this version from the 80s, like, yeah, you can use it, but don't try to carbon copy it exactly, because we're all going to know
Exactly.
that it's not your style. That's what people want to see. They want to see your style. They don't want to see exactly like what they've seen before.
Right. Right. You want to become one of those artists that we're automatically, as soon as we see the cover before they say who it is, we're like, oh my God, I've got to have these. And it's got to roll off the tongue that quickly. And there are a lot of artists that are that way right now that I'm actually becoming more adept to actually pick out their style now, even though there's so much art out there. And I can see where yours will end up being one of those that'll be like, oh, there's an Eve, got to get it.
I hope I can get to that point, but I see so many different ideas, like, oh yeah, let me look at this, let me use this reference image of a sexy woman. And this brings me up to a point. I feel as though a lot of the artists that you're able to pick out, their style is because they have something called like same face syndrome going on with all of their drawings. Um, Not to say that it's bad, because honestly, I love J. Scott Campbell's work. But
Mm-hmm.
J. Scott Campbell, you're able to pick it out immediately because you see the same cute, petite, sexy face on each character that he draws, which are, usually and typically female. But I kind of am nervous to dive into getting into that same face syndrome that a lot of artists, even the big ones, have fallen victim to.
Mm-hmm.
Because I kind of want to make sure that the characters break their mold individually. Like She-Hulk,
Absolutely.
I rather make her muscular and give her a squarish sort of face than make her skinny and make her seem like another character I've drawn. And Wonder Woman, I rather make her look really Amazonian and columnar in body to really represent that pillar of strength.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, literally and metaphorically.
Mm-hmm. I
But
agree.
I do also want to settle a style, so we'll see how that all plays out. It's so soon because I've just started. I really only have just started doing comic work for like a year, not necessarily comic work, but comic illustrations for a year. So we'll just have to see how it all goes. But I will continue just doing my part and improving myself as an artist and dying knowing that I'll never be as good as I want it to be, because that's just the curse of creatives.
Oh yeah, and that's good that you don't have that complacency, because that's whenever you start having that complacency, that's whenever you start looking at it going, why am I even doing this? If I'm already complacent with, why am I not striving to do better on everything I've got?
Exactly. Like my parents had reared me all my life to be in the medical field, and while I envy, well, I'm not necessarily envy, but I am proud of the people who are in the medical field, especially right now. Um, I just knew it wasn't going to be for me, because all my life I had told my parents, like, I just want to do art, and they always thought it's going to be a side gig. You could definitely do it as a side gig, but you got to think real. And I think just funnest, if that's a word, the most fun part about it all is just been doing this and proving that I could do it. That's it. A lot of people just don't want to
Hmm.
pursue that challenge, and that's the best part of the whole thing, is proving all these people that, nah, it's too hard to get into this. I don't think you could get into it, but here I am. I'm trying to chip my way up the ladder, but also I
Oh yeah,
just have to like take a step back and say your work is not that great, because if I have pride in my work, but I don't want to boost myself up, because then it's going to inflate my ego and I won't improve. And I got
exactly.
to make sure I got that improvement sort of growth mentality.
Now, in going off of that, Larry actually did a statement just a little while ago I wanted to bring up. He said, so in all seriousness, and whenever I hear Larry say something about seriousnness, it's like, okay, what just happened?
I know, right? I'm seeing it now.
So in all seriousness, yes, it is possible for me. Eve has a ton of talent. She will be the new blood for up and comers, and she will be watched. And someday we hope she will grace Niobe with her skills. I agree with Larry on this on all aspects. Actually, I would love to see you do a Niobe as well, because, and I'm going to give Larry the shout out on this one right now. Niobe has gotten a lot more attention than I think he was even expecting that it was going to do. And now it's going to get even more at the end of the year, because she is actually going to be on the cover of, I believe it is Punchline
Punchline.
15.
Yep.
Yes,
I
Punchline
saw that.
15 toward the end of the year. So congratulations, Larry. I want to give you that, because you definitely deserve that. So if you want Eve to work on a cover, I am sure she would have no problem talking to you about that one.
Yeah, Larry is my number one simp, so I mean, I'm doing that too. I'm doing that for you, Larry. I got it.
Oh, Larry's going to record this, something fierce. He's going to be like, oh, I'm
he's
going to play that over and over
he's
again.
gonna post it. He's gonna post it. He's like, Simp Nation, we got another one.
And oh gosh, there is a lot of conversation over here about clowns. Let me
Clowns.
see. So first off, it
I see
starts off with
clowns.
Russell says, I hope Jim brings clowns frozen in carbonite. I need a souvenir to bring home. She hates clowns. And Jim comes back with adventure, excitement. The clown craves all these things. Yep, that sounds like Jim and what he's doing. And
I've never
May
seen
4th, this
somebody
can be
so
fun.
devoted to the idea of clowns. Like every day is just a clown day. I've just been so entertained by that.
Yeah, there's a lot more that goes into there, and it goes into the whole pantsless clowns from outer space. Do I need to
Yep.
trademark that real quick? Because that's pantsless. That's right here.
We're in trouble.
See, Eve doesn't understand the backstory, so right now she's like, "What did I just get involved in here?" I am wearing jeans, so you don't have to worry about that. That is a backstory that you will find out a lot more about as we keep going. No pun intended on backstory.
Are you one of those guys that followed the DIY face mask and used a pair of shorts and then took a picture later with the same pair of shorts with the with the butt pockets cut out?
No, but I'm sure somebody's going to come up with that meme for me now. Thank you for giving him that idea.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I've been seeing
Oh,
that
he
just floating around everywhere where people are wearing their, I guess, homemade buttless chaps with their face masks.
Hey, what I do on the weekends is my own business. Thank you very much.
More power to you.
You see why I get along with this crowd so well, because of these kind of things. I don't have the
Oh,
artist
trust me,
talent,
it's
but
my
I
same
walk
kind of
around with the
crowd.
chaps, so I'm in.
Hey, chaps are definitely the piece of clothing to have if you are a man, and capital MAN man. Chaps are the fashion. Just saying, fellas.
I can neither confirm nor deny said statement.
All right, let's do one of those. I don't know. Should I? I think I could. Nah, that seems like more of a Raphael thing.
And
Just to get
Larry,
you guys into the
oh, go ahead.
internal thought of what I was doing. I was like, man, I really want them to seem like turtles from the sewers, and I was like, should I add plastic rings to his neck? And I said, nah, that's more so for Raphael. It's such a hard look, but only Raphael could pull it off.
Larry says that he is at work. He's watching this. He's signing books for the mail. So he gets a lot done at work. I know that. I've seen him many, many times where it says that he's working on the comics at work. So he's definitely getting stuff done.
He's got the most opportune job to do that. So more power to him for taking advantage of his time. I would too. I would too.
And Russell is absolutely killing me. He said, I'm on it, meme in progress. Thank you very much. I definitely appreciate that. Just make sure you spell my name correctly, because I'm sure you will. And Joseph Bruno is on this as well. I mean, everybody's jumping on the bandwagon now. So he said, they said you had to wear a face mask to go into the store. They didn't say anything about wearing pants.
Listen, man. I mean, they got a set of rules listed at the door. No shoes, no shirt, but I didn't see nothing about pants.
See, we could start a whole new revolution coming out of this. Whenever the smoke clears outside, it doesn't say it on the door. What are you going to do?
Yeah. I mean, I live in Florida. I've seen things. Oh my goodness. I think I got a story that Jim would actually get a laugh out of, and he probably could utilize it for a definitely a side story on a comic.
Oh, trust me, there are side stories we can use on a lot of comics with this group.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've definitely seen the Florida Man in action. One Halloween at a local grocery chain. Okay. There was a man who was walking a person who was all on all fours by a leash, and the man was wearing a gimp mask, so he was just protecting himself, early from whatever it was. That's just what I'm gonna say. But that was, I mean, the Florida Man exists, guys. It's not a joke. It's something that you see on the daily. It's a scary reality.
That's not just in Florida either. That's the sad part.
Oh no! I mean, it's becoming much more widespread as like so many more idiots do so many more dumb things, like Tide Pods. Oh boy, that's making its comeback. We don't have to dive into why or who said it, but it's back.
Yeah, that's showing the brain capacity that's going around this world right now.
Oh my god. And I sometimes get embarrassed with people like, your generation's so stupid. And I'm like, I first of all, it could be my generation. And yes, maybe I am part of it, but I am not the dumb one. And you can prove it by natural selection.
Exactly. Exactly.
I'm still here, baby. I haven't left. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. So you can't tell me I'm stupid. I've been doing something good.
Joseph, I'm going to put this up on screen because I greatly agree, and I would love to get this thing. I want one of those plague doctor masks where you look like one of the characters from Spy versus Spy. I agree. I have the top hat.
I have the plans to get one just because the place I work at is that edgy that if I got one, it would be very normal. So I have the plans to get one. I just gotta wait it out, sort of. Bandage.
Yeah, I've seen some amazing things. Whenever they say to wear a mask to go into these stores, they don't specify a medical mask, and people are just going straight up Halloween in this thing. And I mean almost literally. I mean, they're wearing Michael Myers, they're wearing Freddy Krueger, they're wearing whatever they can get their hands on as far as a quote unquote mask. It does nothing for what it's supposed to protect on there, but they're thinking in their mind or however it's going through there that they're doing something. I don't understand.
I would love to get a mask that if you were close enough to view it, it's disturbing to look at. I won't go into details about that, but like little hidden images in a mask that only you could see if you're close up to make the point that, hey, you're standing too close to me, pal. I need you to back up. If you can see all of what's on my mask, that's evidence that you need to back up.
Yep, I agree. If you're too close and you can actually see what's on there and it offends you, then you shouldn't be offended. You should be much further away.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Okay. Okay, Don.
We've got a lot of talk over here talking about that Jim was the original Florida man, then moved to Texas.
I could believe that, and I could believe it even more in that he puts Texas into perspective. And weren't like a bunch of like killer clown movies like based in Texas, if I'm not mistaken? Either that or New Jersey.
Why does it always have to be where I'm involved? What are you trying to imply over there?
Nah. I'm like thinking of any clown, like killer clown story, and I immediately think of Funhouse. And I'm not sure where that was either. It was like New York, New Jersey.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, wherever, they have to get the Coney Island sort of feel to it, so they'll probably film around things there or make the setting something close to it.
Okay, hang on. Russell, I'm going to put this up here because Jim needs to pay attention to this. Jim, if you did not see this, you need to be looking at this. Totally rad, it's totally rad, Max Beyond Clouderdome.
Clouderdome.
Totally rad, Max Beyond Clouderdome. If I've never seen a title that needs to be on one of the Totally Rad comics, that's one right there. That has to happen.
Now we're not going to hear the end of it.
Russell is just generating ideas left and right, throwing them out there, and people are like, hey, I like that one. Hey, I like that one too.
Halloween edition is going to be Funhouse. Or it's going to be Alice Cooper Goes to Hell. But as a story.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's see.
And Jim says, I blame Lloyd Kaufman for making New Jersey a toxic state. Hi. Oh, that is right. Joseph, let me put up the. He said, I think Redonkulous Entertainment had a baklava mask they're putting out. Redonkulous Entertainment, I need to get them on my show as well. They are local here as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
They run several series that they're doing. And yeah, for them to have a different mask, I definitely need to look into that as well. But they would fall in very well with this group. Yeah, I definitely need to get y'all introduced into there as well. And Jim says he is using that. So Russell, you and Jim talk about that because that needs to happen. And Jim's writing all this down. I don't doubt that for a second. I would love to see the book that he writes down in, but then again, I think I'd be terrified. So I'll leave that one for you, Jim, to go ahead and keep over there in your own personal stash because, well, I don't want to be an accessory to anything.
I feel like if I see Florida Man in a story, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it.
Oh, I'm sure it'll happen some way, somehow.
Yeah, like can already see the panel unfolding. Like somewhere in Miami, not in a sewer, singing "Amazing Grace."
Yeah. Eve, I'm going to go ahead and pop down here real quick into backstage. I'm going to give you full thing on here. If you'll go ahead and show off what you've done so far so they can see what you've got going on.
All right, gotcha. So far, not certain how well y'all can see. I'll go ahead and try to bring my camera closer. So far, this is what I've got. For me, again, sketches take a while because there's certain things that I'm inputting and things I'm thinking about while I'm drawing. Like, man, what can I do to kind of fill in this negative space here? What can I do to sort of make this visually interesting? I want to make sure that I do this prior to inking because I don't want to, hey, yeah, let me make a stray ink splatter here, and oh no, that didn't go as well as I hope, and now the piece is just not as good as I wished it was going to be, because I'm never going to put a piece out there that I wouldn't want to keep myself. So it's going to be, thank God I'm doing a board of Lily because I want it. I want her so bad, and I'm not sending her away because she's spectacular so far. But yeah, aside from my side tangents, I just am trying to refine things and fill in the negative space and also put in small details like rips into gauze. These turtles fight with their hands, so they do need some kind of protection. And I think that with Donatello, I would like to see it worn out, or at least with all the turtles, I'd like to see it worn out. So that's kind of what I'm achieving here so far. I love so far that I haven't put too much negative space, and I know much more detail is going to come with inking. And the pencils are still kind of rough, but I like that. And I'm also following along with you guys on the live stream here.
Yeah, it's definitely coming through. It looks good on there.
But have the girls in clown makeup. That'd be cute. Instead of low on gasoline, it's low on helium apocalypse.
Yeah.
Bonus me and squeaky voice, no spray paint, all in helium. Nah, come Halloween, Jim, I believe you're gonna have a bunch of cool stuff coming around. I feel like he's gonna do a Purge, like the actual movie, The Purge, but a clown version. He's gonna do it. My goodness, you have so much fodder there.
There is no telling, and that's kind of the scariest part about it is with all the material that he's got on here, whenever he decides to just go ahead and pop the cork and let it all go.
I can't wait to get the inks on this one, guys. I'm really excited. On another page, which I can flip to real fast, just for this live stream, I wanted to do a sketch so y'all can see my process. But I've got Homelander, America's Sweetheart, the world's greatest hero, in inks. And I'm still filling in the inks. But I've been, again, watching The Boys, been binging on it, been looking into it even more, and I just love Homelander as a character. So I knew that if I was going to draw another piece for the con line, it had to be Homelander, and then just a random oddball piece, Donatello. I want more things strapped to him. I want him to look strapped but still look raggedy at the same time. Ooh, here's an idea. We'll go ahead and put some wires. like those really weird rainbow strips. Maybe he'll utilize some broken computer parts and manage to make them functional again. Oh, Phil, I don't know if you're speaking, but your audio isn't working. I noticed that you've popped back in, but I haven't been able to hear audio from your behalf.
Uh-oh.
And
Is
it could
anyone
be
else
just
hearing
an
me
error
over there?
on me too.
Let us know if you can hear us over there. All right, do I have anything coming through
All
now?
right. Now you do.
Okay. It's the night of technical issues. We're going through this. We're having fun.
Yeah, fun times in the fun zone, the clown zone.
So Joseph Bruno wants to know, how has the quarantine affected your art?
How has it affected my art? If anything, it's actually given me a lot more time to really do my art and kind of refine my skills where I want to. The only way that it has affected how the situation has affected me is just through school. Not that I really took advantage of my morning drives, my afternoon drives to and from school. But I miss them a lot. They were just really simple things, and I miss them a lot. And also because my classes are all art based, and they all need to be sort of in person, and they work best in person. It's just been kind of confusing, and it's just not so great communication. Again, I don't blame the professors because one, they're students as well. And two, it's a situation that they never thought they'd be put in, and something that the school never really prepared as a backup plan in the event of this happening. So that's how it's affected me. And also, my job currently, the place I work at is closed. So I'm not able to work, but honestly, I'm blessed because I do live at home and I do have parents that do care for both me and my brother, and support us and make sure that we're taken care of. So I've been in really good hands and I've been very fortunate. I know a lot of friends have not been in the same place, and I've read a lot about how some of them they were kicked out of their dormitories and they can't go back home because they cannot collect the funds in time for the plane ticket, or they don't want to worry their relatives with the possibility of being sick themselves, so they have to manage to find a place with whatever money they can get, find a couch, work somehow, scramble for a job. A lot of the people I went to school with are scrambling for jobs. I mean, that's a situation as of right now regarding school and how other people are doing. I've been just very blessed and fortunate, and I'm been in contact with people who I just want to make sure they're okay on their end because it is tough. So that's just how it's played out for me. It's more so school is the worst end of it.
Yeah,
But I've been
real
doing
quick,
good for my art.
Russell had said, got to go to bed, guys. Got to work in 5 hours. Everyone have a great night and always stay pantless, San Diego. Russell, you take it easy. You be safe, buddy.
All-nighters over here. It's finals week, man. Ain't no
And
breaks.
Joseph Bruno did say it's a challenge to do things online that were never done online before. That is very true. I've done some online stuff on my end, I know, but I have done a lot more throughout all of this. I know because y'all are having to see me a lot more often, and I apologize for that, but it is what it is. But
You're making the
I know
best of this.
exactly, life gives you limes, you make a margarita.
Exactly.
But I know with with Eve, have you done so much online before with all of this, like with the art and all that you're doing now? I mean, I know with the school is one thing, but actually doing with like the online cons and things like that, that's something totally new as well, correct?
It is something I never would have thought of as a possibility. Like, it's not the first thing that you think of. You don't think of an online con when you think of a convention. You think of a actual place where people meet. And then I hear online con, I'm like, man, what? That doesn't make sense. How are you able to experience what you see in a con? And Greg and Corey, because they're the ones I've seen it happen with, they've been making it work really well. They give the artists their time. They let the audience interact with them, and it's worked really, really well. So I'm kind of excited for it, and I will just have yet to see how it's going to be, because it's going to be part of the new normal. We're going to see the emergence of a lot more online cons, and that's just how it's going to be.
Yes.
So I, as an artist and as a creator, and like everybody else who is the same, I'm just going to have to adapt and make sure that I make myself I give myself my own presence and sense of professionalism online, so that I can interact with people better, and also they can find me better online as well. So this is definitely the time to mess around with learning how to code for a blog.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to do my own little bit of coding, because I used to role play, actually, and I think that's probably the beginning of most of my creative writing stuff. Because I used to role play on forums and improv with people in chat rooms. So I've programmed for my own blogs to tell the story of my characters, and because people are attracted to a nice looking blog. So I just have to adapt to the situation, and I can, and I got the time to, like other people who are also trying the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all a matter of that.
Now you bring that up. Do you have any aspirations of possibly writing your own comics?
Absolutely. I mean, I have aspirations to write some short stories regarding a comic that follows a particular character. I have yet to think of something, but if anything, it's going to be of that same sort of Malice style that Garth Ennis sort of has, because I just love how you can relate to such normal characters that really don't have any superpowers and are just very clever, quick thinkers, witty. That's what I like to see. I like to see normal people placed in difficult situations, or being
Right.
presented with things that they've never been presented with before.
Mm-hmm.
And I had said it earlier, I just don't like happy endings. So a lot of the things I'm thinking about just don't have happy endings. I don't want to have a happy ending. I want something ambiguous. I want you to not like me, yet love me later when you realize how brilliant it is. Not to stroke my own
Yeah.
ego, but
No, absolutely, absolutely. You always want to have it where there's some form of questions or some form of just with the jaw dropping at the end going, what just happened? Because that leaves you wanting more. That leaves you wanting to go ahead and get more of the series as it comes out.
absolutely. And part of also being an artist, as I've been told by actually many artists who are in the industry and do art, but also write some great stories. They said, and not Greg, sorry, Corey told me this too. Like, part of being an artist and being in this industry, you should start creating your own characters and your own stories. And I said, what? I just want to write other people's stories, and
Mm-hmm.
draw their stories out. But then I realized, like, man, I want my own creative freedom too. So I'd love to do that for people, and I'd love to do it for myself, and kind of have it sort of beneficial where people see my stories and say, man, I kind of want mine written like that, and help somebody write a story that could potentially be something really awesome. That's just how I see it.
No, absolutely. Larry said, LOL, I still role play. D&D second edition is where I started. Niobe began whenever I was 16 years old, role playing a game called Heroes Unlimited. Wow,
Oh
I
no,
remember
my role
Heroes.
play was I used to watch anime on like I don't even remember the name of the website anymore because it was definitely pulled down. But there would be chat boxes on the anime sites and I would engage in them, and then I realized like people were doing these little things where they would resemble their actions and with asterisks, and I'm like, what? And I ended up getting into role play there through Chat Tango. It's definitely not the same anymore today. Not a lot of role players today,
Hmm.
because a lot of the forums and places I used to role play on, they're not as active as they used to be, which is a shame. But that's just because people have found more private settings. And again, D&D is getting big, so people are using their creative outlets there. And that's how that's been.
And
Because
Larry
D&D is a
says it was
continuous
called
thing.
Gaia.
Gaia. Gaia. Oh my goodness, that sounds very, very familiar. Gaia. That sounds like a game. I don't know. I felt like I did a beta for something of that sort. I can't remember if it was a game. I do that title's vaguely familiar, and that's gonna bother me the rest of the night.
I'm the same way. If I can't come up with the answers, like Google's got to get it for me, or I'm not sleeping.
Yeah, I mean I'm not sleeping anyways, but I'm not gonna be thinking about. Well, I am gonna be thinking about it because now I'm bothered. Man, Gaia, jeez, wasn't it? I feel like that was some game that was made in China, and I played a beta for it, but gosh, I don't even remember. Oh
Larry said
no,
it
no,
was
no, no.
the anime site where people used it for RP.
Oh no, I didn't. Nah, I didn't do that. It was just a anime like watching website. It wasn't even for RP. It just happened to
Oh,
have a
okay.
chat box where people talk there, and interesting stuff arose from that. But that's another story.
Lewis says Gaia, the spirit of Earth.
Yeah, no, now that doesn't sound familiar, but nah, I did all my role playing just on Chat Tango. When it was good, now it's not. Oh well. People grow, things grow. Just like MySpace used to be good, and now like you can't really find anything there.
Oh yeah, MySpace was my jam back in the day, but yeah, that's no.
No. And Tumblr used to be good, and now like Tumblr's another thing. Ooh. Next we're gonna go for Twitter.
I don't know if they start charging for Facebook. I see that one going down quick.
Charging for Facebook, I don't think they would charge for Facebook. They make
Oh, they've
most of
already had
their
that. Yeah, they've had that in talks.
what?
Now, with the current situation that's going on right now, put that all on hold. But right before all this happened, they were actually in serious talks about going ahead and making it a paid site, which would give you
That
more
nah.
benefits from it, but it's still paid. I'm like, oh, no, no, no.
And I think that just could be because people are using Facebook as like a business platform. I that sort of makes sense, but no, paid website, dude, you make your revenue off of the ads that you play there. That doesn't unless they're trying to go
Exactly.
for like a premium version, like where you don't experience ads and all you have to do is pay like $2 a month to not have them there. That makes sense, but come on, guys,
Oh, yeah.
really? Like you need the
Yeah, and
money.
there's too many of us on here that we would step off and make our own Facebook style site anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Oh my gosh, yeah. People are brilliant like that. Today's people are just brilliant.
Oh, yeah. Well, not just the regular people and everything, but I mean, if I were to hand my phone over to my girlfriend's 12-year-old son and say, "Hey, look, I can't figure out how to get in these apps. Can you figure it out?" I guarantee you 5 minutes later he'd have me into everything I need to get into and remember all my passwords that I forgot. It's just that's what they do nowadays.
Oh yeah.
They're well above me.
Me, I'm not that tech savvy and I kind of feel bad, but at the same time I don't.
I
Sometimes
mean,
I
I've
wish
learned
I
quite a bit.
was.
Yeah, I mean, I've learned quite a bit in dealing with all of this and having to get online more often with this. And I know pretty much a lot of a lot of people have been the same way. But it just amazes me on how the younger generation just automatically know how to use a cell phone or a tablet or a computer better than I ever will.
It's kind of scary, to be honest. I have a 4-year-old little brother, and he already knows how to navigate through a phone, like a phone, and get to his Hot Wheels game. Now that's terrifying to me, and I just feel like, oh man, this is what's leading to the decline of like creativity. That's just how I feel about it, because I owe a lot of my creativity to just being curious, and yet, yeah, having a phone and having the access to internet helps it, and discovering different art, but also just experiencing life and looking at what's going on around you really boosts that creativity, and I'm just nervous of not being able to see more of that from younger people, and what you're going to
Exactly.
see is just things that you can't relate to, that people have been um, looking at stories ever since the 80s or 90s, and I feel nervous that you're not going to see that same sort of creativity again.
Exactly.
It's all going to be based off of a crutch that those people have set, but people have been polishing.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's absolutely true. I mean, it's sad but true. Yeah, that's the way they're going with that. But Jim went ahead and posted up on here. We will create a new social media and call it Clowning Around.
Oh my God, stop it! That's going to be the name of your YouTube page. Don't don't insert your fantasies onto what could be our next business platform.
He has got so many ideas. Trust me, a lot of these things will start taking fruition, and it's gonna be one wild ride whenever it starts happening too.
Oh, trust me, I've already witnessed part of it. I actually, it's so refreshing, because I feel like, and this is just coming from me, from the people I talk to. I feel like that energy really just, that same energy that Jim goes about talking to somebody about his new ideas, and they sound like so strange and weird. Like, dude, what? I feel like that's always been me with people that I've been talking to. Like, check this idea out. Think about this, and this, and they're like, dude, that's weird, and you're kind of weird for making it sound weird, because I'm enthusiastic about it at the same time. Like, oh, okay. But then Jim's like a breath of fresh air comes in, not afraid of seeming weird, and he's like, all right, think about this. What if we put a clown in space, in a clown car? It's that energy, and I love that energy. I don't care about weird people. You're not gonna scare me off, unless you do something very borderline creepy. But I love weird, strange, energetic people, which is this crowd.
Oh, definitely, most definitely. Yeah, we have a little bit of a twisted nature about us, just little.
And I love that.
No, it's a good group. We all get along really well and have a lot of fun. And there are definitely a lot of people who are interested in what you're working on, not necessarily just tonight, but just in the future and all as well. And trying to gauge, what your parameters are and where your wheelhouse is. So that kind of brings up, as far as your wheelhouse is concerned, what what has been one of the characters that you have not worked on that you definitely want to work on?
Lady Death. Lady Death. Lady Death. I'd love to do some Lady Death stuff. Oh my gosh. I want to bring back what she used to have, what Hughes brought, that spice of life, what Ivan Reese brought. Those were the best designs, and they were powerful, man. They did some sexy stuff for that. They
Oh
did
yeah,
it justice.
I completely and totally agree on that. In fact, while you were talking, I coined up real quick because anytime that
Yep.
Lady Death is mentioned, I always coin up because I know they're waiting for me on that one. So not going to happen, guys. I'm not buying any rounds.
No, I have yet to get my coins and waste away my part-time job money on Lady Death merch, especially on that figurine that they're going to be dropping. Ooh.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's going to be a big one that's going to be dropping on that. And they're actually doing the action figure and the statue because they
Yep.
released the thing on the statue that's been going over. I think the past couple of days, Brian's been putting that all over the place. And yeah, there's jewel rags left all over the place from that thing.
Oh yeah. No, I'm excited to see it. I
So if
wish
you
it
were to
just had
do,
that Hughes vibe, but I ain't picky.
yeah, but if you were to actually do something from Lady Death, we're speaking hypothetically on here. If you were to do something, would you want to do specifically Lady Death? Would you want to do another character that's involved in there per se, or would you want to go ahead and do like a grouping of them? How would you want to do that?
Honestly, whatever Brian would give me, I would do gladly. I would love to do just about any character, but top one would be Lady Death, and if I could, I would draw Lady Death holding Lucifer's head, riding Visago, demons behind her, making her bringing back that glory, bringing it back. That's what I would love to do
If
because that's just
any
what I
of
want
you
to see.
have Exactly. If any of you have a blank Lady Death out there, which I know is hard to come by, if you have a Lady Death blank that you just do not want, if you want to send it over to me or send it directly over to Eve, I'm going to get her to do that for me because I want to see that.
Bro, I would try my best. It's a blank, so I would pack in as much as I can. I've been working on some blanks and I'll feature them. They're currently sketches right now. I would love to get them inked, but this one is something else that I've been working on. It's a
Oh, hang
clone
on.
conspiracy, and I've got uh the Green Goblin on the cover. I got Electro, I got Dr. Octopus, and it's a wraparound cover, and on the back it's Spider-Man crashed against a brick building. And I think my emphasis was more on Green Goblin on the cover because I just like those exaggerated facial features. So I'm gonna try to do more covers like this that wrap around, and
That looks
that's
great.
how I would approach something that detailed.
Yeah, that definitely looks great.
Thank you, thank you. I just
Now,
like I'm saying, like just gotta improve from here on out.
Larry says that he too has the challenge coin, and then his next statement he says, "And if I ever go to a con in the States, it will come with me." Good call, Larry. And he also said that he backed the Lady Death card game. So did I. And I'm going to tell you right now, I will get to play a game of the Lady Death card game against Lady Death herself, Kara Nicole. She accepted my challenge. So she and I will go head to head. I will be battling Lady Death in a card game.
Oh wow, that's kind of badass.
Yeah, I'm kind of worried about if I actually start winning because, is she going to like melt me right there or what's going to happen?
You're
Hey,
gonna
what a
you're
way to
gonna be
go.
in for it for sure.
What a way to go.
Yeah, just soiled it.
We will definitely have fun with that. But yeah, Larry, we're definitely going to we'll have to figure out a way. We'll get you down this way and we'll get a game going on that as well. Because since I'm going to have the game, I'm going to have people to play it as well. So I think we might have some willing participants, within here and some other people that'll be watching this.
I know I would. If they had sold the card game like in the comic shops, but it was a Kickstarter, so I mean, can't blame them. What I really wanted was the Coffin Sworn baseball cap. That was something I really, really wanted.
Uh-huh.
I've been like posting on their Instagram like, hey, bring back the comic Coffin Sworn baseball cap, because if you bring it back, bro, I swear I will buy it.
Mm-hmm. I
I just
agree.
like the logo and how loud it is.
Yeah, I completely agree on that. It's they did it and then it was gone. It was like it was only on for a very short amount of time and then it was gone. And I think that that's done on purpose because they like doing the things where they put it in the quote unquote vault and then they bring it back later on. With the apparel is a little bit different though. So I'm hoping that they are actually going to be able to bring that back, which would be great.
I love some Lady Death apparel. I need to sport my queen.
Hey, you need to go to Swornfest next year.
Swornfest. I had Justin tell me that. He said the tickets are so worth it, and I said, man, I bet they are worth it. But as of right now, just your average, friendly neighborhood college student, same college struggles as everybody else, and I work part-time.
You say that now, but if I go to Swornfest next year and I see you there, I'm going to remind you that on April 27th at this time, we had this conversation and you said you were the average, ordinary, regular Spider-Man type person over here. And
Yeah.
here you are at Swornfest. So I will remind you.
No, that'd be badass. That'd be badass.
Oh, Larry's throwing down the challenge here. He said that he would challenge me on the game, even if it's online somehow. Larry, we're going to have to figure that out, buddy. The game is coming out, I believe, in August, which is right around my birthday, which would be phenomenal. We're going to have to figure out some way to get a game going.
I feel they should have done like an online version, like for The Witcher, because Gwent was so popular in the game. I think they did like an online version of the card game Gwent. I don't know. You'll just have to. Somebody's just gonna have to pull the strings with Brian Pulido and say, "Hey, man, try to get an online version of this game started."
Well, the guy who actually made it, Ash Madsko, I can never say his name correctly. He's the one who actually came up with it and all and did it. So he's the one that we can kind of present that to. So if anybody knows him or can get a hold of him, I know I can as well, but just the more the merrier. We can kind of let him know, hey, we're here now. Let's play some games. So see if he can go ahead and say, look, if you want to go ahead and get it, this is what we can do. Even if he charges a minimal fee just to have it digital, that would be so worth it.
Mm-hmm. And then have like an online presence with it, like an online community, and build that up. That'd be cool. Like exactly. I invite somebody to play this game with me, and we're gonna bet, I don't know, bitcoins.
Hey, right now I'm starting to think that the Lady Death currency, the wooden nickels and the dollars and everything they're doing right now, I think that's going to be the best form of money we got coming out whenever the smoke clears here.
Hey, like you're going to the gas station, it's 3 a.m. Do you accept coffin coins?
There's a wooden nickel and you keep the change.
Yeah, like I'm just here to buy a Fanta. That's it. And keep it. It's worth something, but I'm that hungry.
Man, this sketch is really coming along.
Thank you. I just like keep revisiting the same areas, and I just want to kind of refine them. That's the thing about me and sketches is that I'm gonna take my sweet time with it.
I'm going to give you full screen again so you can go ahead and see everything on there real quick. Give me just a moment.
Go for it.
There you go.
Thinking I want to like make his heads, like I just want to wear everything out and make it seem like they're all jerry-rigged. Like this is probably an old Xbox headset that maybe Donatello rewired and made it functional again. That's how I like to see it. I think I put what looks to be an Xbox on his back that he might have reconfigured for some other contraption. It's just fun things like that, like making a narrative off of something. And then maybe put some duct tape around it. Bam. Just like that. Because it's got the vents. It's got the vents of an Xbox. That's the only reason why I say it.
That is very cool.
PVC pipes. Thank you. Thank you.
Larry, Larry says, I would love to go to Sworn Fest and then get a rocking party going on afterwards. See, I have not been to a coffin party as of yet. This will be mine and Heather's first time to go to something like this. And I'm not going to say we've been warned. We've been having a lot of advice as far as to, what to expect. And the biggest and most consistent advice is, number one, bring an extra liver and a backup for that liver.
Oh my God.
And also be prepared not to sleep for the entirety of the event, which is a 3-day event. So
Jesus.
Yeah, an extra party on top of that, I don't think anybody could possibly handle that. From what I understand, this is party ever since you get there at noon on Friday all the way through until noon on Sunday, thereabouts. So
that just sounds like an improved version of the Gathering of the Juggalos. That it just sounds like a better version of that. But you hear coffin fest, like, and I just think I hear like a guitar riff and Brian Pulido screaming.
There is the karaoke that's involved, so yes, that's probably part of it as well.
Jeez, karaoke. You have to catch me when I can't remember that, so I could do some like really heavy metal stuff. Because I would do it. I would so do it. I would definitely take on Slipknot and maybe Limp Bizkit. But I'd have to be especially like out of it.
And Joseph Bruno, I completely agree with you on that one. I can't make it to dinner time without a nap anymore. So I don't know what I'm going to do whenever Heather and I go next year, because it's going to be very different going to this thing, because as I understand it, it's kind of one of those things whenever you go to a regular party back in high school and all, and if you're the first one to fall asleep, what happens to you? So These are a bunch of guys who are very creative and have a lot of creative ways of doing things, I can only imagine. And a lot of things don't end up in pictures, and a lot of things do. So I don't think that I want to chance that one.
Me, I wouldn't know high school party. I wasn't that cool. I was a band kid. Besides, I had parents that also cared, so I kind of saved myself with that one.
I went to a private school, the highest graduating class of its time, which was 12. We were known as the Dirty Dozen. No, I didn't do the parties, but there were other things that were done that gave us that name.
Wow.
I didn't get this name Demon Phil for nothing.
Wow. Man,
Larry says,
my nickname, the only
I've never been to
was B.
Larry says, let me bring this up. I've never been to a coffin party either, but you have been to the after parties, the local cons here, and had a couple of my own, and we're in Canada, can drink. I have yet to run a table sober or not hungover.
Oh my God.
Larry, we're going to have to get you down here to Jersey, man, somehow, some way, or I'm going to have to figure out a way to get to Canada. I don't know. We'll figure something out. But yeah, we got to get together at some point.
I would have thought that like the after party was something very relaxed, like cigars and liquor, but I guess not.
Yeah, I actually haven't been to any of the after parties in the cons. So it would be interesting to start getting into that, which I'm sure would not be an issue whenever the smoke clears and we do get back into that. But somehow I'm a little concerned with a few people, especially the ones that are in here right now, of what kind of parties those would be.
I've never done con parties, like after parties and the ones that they host. I just thought like, oh, it's going to be a bunch of weebs gathered around. But I guess it also depends on the con that you go to and the after party that they have.
True, true.
Or whoever's hosting one.
Well, it's like, I mean, honestly, I would love to be able to host a con here in this area, but have it for, I still haven't figured out the exact name. I'm working on some things on there, but I want to have something where it's like the outlaw comics can come here. So those comics that are usually put in the bad boy corners of all of these cons, they're actually going to have front row tables. And it's going to be widely known that it is 18 and older to come in here to these cons, but we finally get to have everybody all together in one con. I think that would be a blast.
That would be so fun because like you get rid of the younger sort of immature kind of group of kids. Yeah, that would definitely be a lot more fun and a lot more chill, a lot more expressive. For sure, certainly very much more expressive. That sounds a lot of fun, actually.
And see, Jim, this is the reason why we can't call it that, because if I call it Pantsless Con, that is a whole different con that usually happens in Vegas, I'm sure, at some point, somewhere along those lines. And we don't want to put that kind of, persona on what's happening at this con. It's about comics, not being pantsless. So there is that. And Joseph Bruno says he did one party, and then Seymour, which is his grandson, went with him and learned that he can't hang with a 13-year-old.
Oh my God.
I don't even want to know the story on that. I don't think Joseph, you know what? Whenever the smoke clears and we get back together and we're face to face, then I want to know that story. That's whenever I want to know it.
That definitely sounds like a fun story.
Larry says at one party he was suplexed by a local female wrestler in the living room of the host. It was great. Wow.
I would assume that's great. That just sounds like it's up Larry's alley, so I kind of just don't doubt him.
Yeah, exactly. Lewis says 18 and up, that way you don't have to hide the naughty variants. That is very true. There will be no naughty variants with little black stickers all over them and whatnot, or full black covers. That means we can actually invite Totally Rad to show up.
I know, for once, yeah. And that also means just like many more intelligible conversations that actually welcome different opinions,
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I can only imagine what the after party would be with a con like that. Oh, my gosh.
Jeez, I don't even want to begin to imagine.
Bring bail money.
Larry would get suplexed again, but like probably won't wake up after it.
Oh, we would have so much fun with that. We definitely have got to make that happen. I know the stir crazy is starting to kick in and all, but this is also the way that we normally think. We're just letting our inner voices out during this time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it is definitely a lot of fun. And Larry, in reply to what you said about the wrestler, I will tell you a quick story about me. Actually, whenever I was in Texas, there is a place down there that was known as the Booker T School of Wrestling. Whenever TNA wrestling was pretty huge and everything, that was a big deal because they would actually bring in some of the TNA talent to kind of quote unquote school the new guys, because they would put on a show and we'd get to go and watch it and everything. Well, I started out in the crew that was actually helping to feed them, because one of the restaurants that I was working part-time for was helping them out with that. And then I got to go in and actually help out with the wrestling events and all set up and take down, and it was fun. So on my birthday, I won't say how long ago it was because I'm old, but on my birthday, it was discussed that there was a wrestler, I believe his name was Cyrus, something like that, like 9 foot tall. I'm exaggerating, but whenever I'm looking at this guy, he's wearing leather pants, no shirt, and he's wearing a hockey mask. They weren't incredibly original in what they had as far as the wrestlers and everything, but what was told is I was going to come into the wrestling ring, they were going to sing to me, and that was going to be cool. So they're singing to me, and all of a sudden everybody starts booing, and this guy, like I said, 9 foot tall, starts walking up to the ring. He comes in there with his cohort, whatever. He comes straight up to me and he leans down and he says, "I'm going to choke slam you." He said, "Just go with this." And I'm like, "I'm sorry, what?" I am not a wrestler. I don't take hits. So he picks me up by, the throat with his hand on my back so he can actually support me. So it's not, actually choking me. He picks me up. I'm pretty much going through my, best moments of my life and worst moments all together. It flashes before your eyes before you're fixing to die. And he
Oh my
basically just
God.
kind of lays me down and then puts his, leg on top of me like, he beat me or whatever. And then, if I'm not mistaken, it was the Dudley boys came running in and they took him out, because they messed up my birthday party or he messed up my birthday party. So I had a blast with it. I wasn't expecting it. So it's one of those memories that I can definitely cherish, saying that, I got to get in a ring with a 9 foot tall giant with a hockey mask who slammed me and then the Dudley boys saved me.
Yeah, that's
Makes a memory.
very that's a terrifying memory. All right, I feel like he's ready for inks and inks. Just
Holy crap, Larry, that's right. It's Cyrus, Lance Storm's co-host.
I wouldn't
I
know
would say
much about wrestling.
I would
I
say
mean,
I've
I
got
know
some
that I
payback
live.
coming on that man, but I'm leaving him alone. I'm gonna let him slide on this one.
Let him slide already. Already. I know that I used to be able to, like, on my bus drives home in high school. John Cena actually doesn't live too far away from the high school I went to. And
Uh-huh.
I remember the kids would hang out of their bus seats, the bus windows, and take pictures of his Corvette or whatever fancy car he was driving. Like, it's a normal occurrence to just see him around here. It's really weird. And now that he seems like he's actually more visible now. He grew out his hair, and I don't know, man. Dude's kind of been off since he's not with one of the Bella twins. It's just really
Yeah,
off. It's strange.
I have met quite a few wrestlers in my time, which has been pretty amazing. I've met some pretty amazing celebrities. I get to play paintball with Chuck Norris. I mean, I've had a
Oh my
great life.
God, that's terrifying. You accepted an invite to play Chuck Norris. I mean,
Oh
to
no, no, no,
playing
no.
Chuck Norris
It
with
was it was. I'm going to clarify because I'm not stupid. It was a scenario paintball game, which means it's a 24-hour scenario. And
Okay.
actually, we were on the opposite side of Chuck Norris. And since our team actually helped to build the field that we were on, we went to Chuck Norris, with the white flag showing and everything, and said, "We're on the wrong side." And he said, "Well, that's obvious. I see the colors." And I was like, "Well, you need to go ahead and call the game master and let him know." And he's like, "Well, what is that going to do?" We said, "Well, call the game master and he'll definitely let you know." So he contacts him up on the radio and he says, "I got these guys over here, Team No Remorse wants to go ahead and switch over. What do we do?" And the game master's like, "Well, if you want them, you can have them. I mean, it's great because they'll move over." And he was like, "I don't know what kind of pull you guys have got, but you're on my team." And he's like, and we're like, "Well, that's better for us then."
Oh my Lord. That
Oh yeah, yeah.
is
You
crazy.
don't play against Chuck Norris. That's just not an option.
That's you're asking for it. You're gonna get yours if that's what you plan.
Exactly. We've got a new person in here, Grit and Guts. Says hello. Hey, welcome for coming in.
Hello. Welcome this fine morning. Jeez.
We are actually doing a live draw, or we talk comics every once in a while, I swear, but we're doing a live draw right now with Eve, and she is working on a Donatello turtle sketch here. And actually, let me go ahead and give her the full screen so you can see that.
Yeah, because just for tonight, it was going to be the sketch, and then I might go live maybe the next day and do the inks because I know that's what people are wanting to see. They want to see the finished thing. And I'm like crazy to get started on the inks. My dude, I need to step back so I can take a look at what I've got here. So far, so good. And plus, you'll be able to see what I've got too.
Yeah, that
And then
looks
I can
great.
really, thank you. then I can really hash in those details with the ink. So far, everything seems a little muddled, but it'll look cool once it's got some colors. Oh yeah, I can definitely see everything happening here. And just for everybody who is in here and is curious, this piece is going to be up for my Comic-Con line slot, which is going to be once again May 2nd, 8 to 9 p.m. So for all you, everybody who's going to be laying in bed at that time, wanting to just spend random money, I will be there.
And that is 8 to 9. What time zone is that?
Eastern Standard.
Okay. 8 to 9 Eastern Standard, May the 2nd. That's whenever you want to be on the Comic-Con online on Creators Corner.
Plus, we should be anticipating some interesting conversations within that hour's time slot, too. And just
absolutely,
cool stuff.
Absolutely. I'll definitely, I will do my best to be over there in the audience as well. So you may be seeing some of these fun questions from over there.
Hopefully, I'm excited.
Jim says, laying in bed, spending random money. I've been down this road before.
Yeah,
Yep.
I went down that path just not too long ago. My birthday had passed, and I was like, I need to spoil myself for my birthday. So I ended up getting a whole bunch of art supplies, and amongst them came this guy who's like a cool mechanical electronic eraser thing. I don't know. It's very fun to mess with.
Wow. No kidding.
Yeah, I saw it on Will Russell's live stream once, and I'm like, dude, that is so sick. That is so cool. I have to have it. So I found it. New comic boards so that I can have more comic boards to work on for those narratives, because I'm telling you guys, it's gonna be happening sooner than you think. Come May, I am planning to kick my butt and go into overdrive with the storytelling, because summer semester is it's gonna be a bit of a pain right now.
And Louis Torres, just to answer your question, yes, that is PM, because if it were AM, I would not be agreeing to it.
I have a Hispanic circadian rhythm, so to me that sounds like a normal time to be up. But it's not for everybody else. It's like, why are you up at 8 o'clock in the morning? I ask, you're not.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but any con that starts at like 8 o'clock in the morning, that's rough for me. I'll show up at noon and be do the whole, be late on purpose to kind of show off that I'm being late. But no, I'm not going to be there at 8 o'clock in the morning. Sorry.
Besides, noon is where you catch the best action, to be honest.
Well, the problem is I'm one of those that I actually enjoy going to cons that actually have the panels, that have everything going on. So I like to go ahead and plan out what I'm going to do. And there are times whenever you go along and it's like, well, crap, I can't go see this and do this panel and do this. So you try to actually stand outside of where you're watching the panel so you can get an eye view and a little bit of an ear over here, but you're looking for this over here to see where this guy is fixing to come in and show some new art just down the aisle down there. You've really got to stretch yourself in that way. And then sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
We got simps, we got clowns, we got...
Wow.
Yeah. Larry's, and for any lady who's going to be watching this later or watching this now, Larry's accepting applications for GIMPs, and that means girl simp, not the other thing.
We definitely need clarification
Larry,
on that.
Unless Larry's like looking for that too, but I mean, I'm here to just speak for girl simps. He's looking to add to his army.
Larry, have your lawyer present before you answer that. Joseph says, yeah, but at 8 o'clock when it opens is whenever you get good photographs of the vendors. Now, Joseph, for your job of doing the photographs, that is great. For my job being a vendor, that's whenever I'm barking at everybody going, I need to finish my freaking coffee.
I could feel myself getting like 3 cups and having 3 cups with me. I remember the last con I did, I was up, I accepting some coins. I was up the whole week just trying to get artwork last minute because it was a last minute con that I had signed up for. And it was a local con at my university. And I had, I think, an equivalent of a case of energy drinks that whole week. And it sucked and I barely slept. But also, it kind of realized that with energy drinks and without sleeping, I could get so much more done. I just have to convince the folks to let me harbor that nasty stuff in here so that I can do my work. Honestly, I've never been so productive, but I also have never been so tormented. Being up with energy drinks is like the worst thing. It's sleep paralysis, but you're not sleeping. You're just paralyzed. You're just basically living a Francis Bacon painting where he illustrates all of your existential fears.
That is the best way I've ever heard it put out there.
Honest, I wait. You understood the reference I was making?
Oh yeah.
Not a lot of people would have caught on to that. I am so happy somebody did. I'm so happy that you caught on to that. If anybody's
Hey,
curious, just look up Francis Bacon, and you'll understand what I mean.
I may be from Texas and I may have the drawl and everything like that, and not an actual artist per se, but yeah, I do have a little bit of knowledge on some things every once in a while.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of art like his. He definitely. I love existential art just like that. I posted
Mm-hmm.
up a painting of his actually on my feed not long ago, and it was of part of his series that he did. He said the shape study for a head, not study of a head, and I felt
Uh-huh.
that title was interesting on its own. You know, so actually, when I do draw, I kind of think about the classics and their and the methodology behind them creating their works. And I know Frank Cho also puts that into practice, and so does Jim Lee. Um, they got their sets of favorite classics. Frank Cho also always mentions concepts of the classics. Excuse me. Oh, she and I had that talk. She was the one that came up with the name. Yeah.
Yeah, like Joseph Bruno put on here, I thought a gimp was somebody who had trouble walking.
Oh, what? I've never heard that definition for it, but in a way, I guess you can say that that is one way to say it. Yeah, they definitely don't have the easiest time walking. One of those rainbow strips over here. We're just gonna randomize this at this point. Maybe we'll reveal some batteries back here.
Now, I'm watching as you're going through this. It looks like you're putting most of your focus right there on the face, which is going to be your focal point, correct?
Yes, kind of. Yeah.
Okay. What are you using as your focal point? Are you using anything in particular or just kind of?
Nothing in particular, but the face is, yeah, the very center of the page. So I would say it is the face because when you kind of measure it out, here's the bridge of the nose, there are the eyes. Yeah,
Yeah.
just about. Yeah, it is. It is just about the face, and
Okay.
everything else is kind of secondary. I despise negative space and I'll try to utilize it, but I'm thinking with the colors I'll use because he'll have more neutral colors. I'm gonna do like a really hot pink for a sort of an outline or something
Nice.
cool. I don't know. I gotta refer to Art Germ and Ariel Diaz. They know how to fill in that space with little designs, and they're very simple designs too. So they know it best. I just gotta look for them.
Larry, I'm going to agree with you on that. He said, here's what I like about Eve. We just sat here and we heard a 20-year-old talk about Frank Cho and Jim Lee. This girl is old school. I agree.
I didn't think that they were that old school. I thought they were pretty much like the bones of the industry. I mean, except Frank Cho. Like Frank Cho, you have to like really look at the different covers, but I love Frank Cho stuff. He's my art crush. Every time he posts something on his social media, I say, Frank Cho, I love you. You're looking so good today. I never get a response, but someday I will. But
Hey,
he is
persistence
just,
pays off in the end.
yeah, he's one of those artists that again is like not afraid to say what he needs to say, not afraid to say what he wants to say and express how he feels. He definitely showed that up with a sketch cover he did with Power Girl on it and Wonder Woman. And oh my god, it was so crazy. It was so bold. And it said something along the lines like, Power Girl, what are you doing? Or it said, Kara, what are you up to? And she said, oh, if I look pretty and if I stand like this, I'm gonna see how long it takes for the SJWs to say that this is not art. And I was like, damn, that is the most blunt thing I've ever seen by an artist do. And I just feel like it's silly for other artists to put artists down just because of the way that they express their styles, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I do
Absolutely.
have my personal opinions on different styles, but I'm not gonna actively pit somebody down because I don't like their style, you know? Like that's definitely not cool. And if they choose
Exactly.
to express certain things in a certain way, like that's their creative outlet. That's their way of doing it, not mine. So, I mean, let them do them. If it works for them, screw it. It ain't me.
Exactly. I completely agree on that. And it's sad that it actually goes into that aspect a lot with the artist kind of battling it out whenever there's a lot of respect that's there. They're just letting the negativity come up instead of actually basing it off of the respect is what they need to be looking at. So it's a perception thing. It always is. Perception is always, it can be perceived in two different ways or many different ways if you go ahead and put it out there sometimes.
Mhm. Mhm. I think also another part of me being in the industry is sort of like a way to prove, hey, not everything in this industry is supposed to make a certain group of people feel like crap, you know.
Right.
It's not about that. It's a storytelling industry. Everything's idealized within it. We're not actively trying to we're not actively objectifying or trying to make or create a standard for like the ideal person, but this is just how we choose to communicate our ideal settings. Because and another thing is that everybody wants to, you know, fight for how women are portrayed, but nobody does the same for how men are portrayed. Because not every
Mm-hmm.
man you meet on the street is chiseled like Superman. And that's every male comic character is so broad and strong and 6'4" and nice square jaw, beautiful hair. You know, it's so strange, and people are worked up about the way a woman is shaped. That's strange stuff.
This is true. This is true.
And
And why did?
I've seen feminists attack the She-Hulk comics because the sensational She-Hulk, I think if we all know what I'm talking about here, her comic covers, um, they were definitely very conversational. And that's what made
Oh
me
yeah.
love She-Hulk, because it would be her doing a certain pose or something of the sort, and she will have a caption saying, now, I'm not just doing this because of I need to sell the cover, but you know, you got to make ends meet. And
Yeah.
a lot of feminists would attack the cover saying like this is so wrong. This is so wrong for the character to to be like this, but she was so well created. She was a character that was very aware of her sexuality, and she also had her fair share of fights and struggles because she's 6'7", chose to wear
Yeah.
stilettos, is a very intimidating woman, but she made the best out of it, you know. And I hate that there are a lot of people who don't read into who She-Hulk is and how she is, and they immediately just kind of argue that she's just an objectified character when that's far from it. And she was written by men, and that's the crazier part. And she was so well written, and that's coming from me. You know, she's a confident person who's muscular and is badass and short tempered, but I mean, she's comfortable with herself too. And she
Right.
doesn't use her sexuality as a crutch, which is another thing. It's all for comedic show.
Yeah.
Which is like
Uh,
Elvira. Elvira is the same way.
oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And that's what I love to
Uh,
see.
Joseph is killing me in the comments right now, so I've got to go ahead and share this. I'm a
Do
short,
it.
fat, bald, and old. I can't cosplay a superhero because a fat guy in spandex, not pretty. Michelin Man, maybe.
Michelin Man, maybe. There's also the Stay Puffed Marshmallow Man or Slimer.
Let's see. There's
You
options.
know, nah, don't even. Like, you could do a full-on homebrewed Ghostbusters costume. I've always wanted to do that, just a homebrew costume, not something bought at the store because they're all really crappy. But I would have my stogie. I would Jerry like makeshift all the little gadgets, the EF. I probably butchered what it was. EFM detector. Definitely the ghost traps. I would look super cool. I think I just
All right.
about
Larry
got it
said
for
a
the
couple of things on
sketch.
here I want to bring up. Larry said, here is the issue. People nowadays are looking for realism in comics just for the purpose of criticism, even though these people do not read comics. Here is Comics 101. Comic books are fantasy. They are meant to be over the top and take you away from the real world. I agree.
That's the whole point of the comics. And people are like, it doesn't represent me, and I'm like, no, they're not supposed to.
And he
They're
also said when we
extravagant.
watch Avengers movie, they are all hot and buffed, no average people there on that team, and that is what people like to see. They want the fantasy. Exactly.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's exactly what people are there to see. Like, oh, everybody's a fan of Thor, and I was a fan of Fat Thor.
Exactly. That was hilarious.
That was my favorite. I'm like, damn, Thor's kind of looking pretty good in this scene.
Yeah, the dad bod Thor, that was working for me on that one.
Oh yeah, that was it. That was Thor never looked any better. I just also found that movie so comedic. Just like how they were watching Thanos sitting on a stone. They're like, what is he doing? He's just sitting there menacingly.
Mm-hmm.
That was a great movie.
There's too much. I was actually on a panel about a week ago, and we were talking about whenever you're writing something, or whenever, in my case, because I'm a fan more so than a writer, whenever you're reading something, do you see it more of a script where they're trying to just go ahead and present a point, or do they have an agenda? That made me start really thinking after doing that panel, because you see a lot of these comics that definitely have the agenda. And then, of course, the movies that follow definitely have the agenda as well. So in going with the perfect body and things like that, there's an agenda there. It's not we're going to throw this out here as this could possibly be the super team this way. It's like, this is what you're supposed to look like to be on the super team. No, no, we're not.
I always thought that way about. I was looking at a picture of a bunch of DC heroes lined up, and everybody was looking cool. But I was looking at the women specifically, and I noticed they had the same face shape, same body type. same breast size. And then I made a joke on the post. I
I
said,
saw that.
is
Yes.
there a particular cup size you have to be to join like the DC comic realm or something? And the comments were hilarious.
Exactly.
They're like, I think you need to either be a D or a C. You know, take your pick.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's also like people falling victim to same face, same body syndrome in their characters. Yikes.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it makes sense for a character to be muscular and bulky, but I mean, be careful
Oh,
with
absolutely.
making him like if you take the face and all of the skin features on a character and you remove the head, like could you be able to name the character? You couldn't because they all
Right.
look the same.
No, I completely agree, and that's why I'm not going to name any names, but the most nefarious Captain America cover by a certain artist because of all of the over accentuating on chest, shoulders, arms, and the
Oh
head was
my
teeny.
gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, he's great.
So, but that was one of those things where it was like, that's your superhero. That. What just happened? It's like a shrunken head convention with Arnold Schwarzenegger with extra steroids. I don't know. I don't even know if there could be extra steroids for that, but it was just way over the top. But
If I could commission that artist to draw me something, I'd ask him to draw me a foot. That's it. That's all I want. Artist, draw
you
me a
do know
foot.
who I'm talking about. Good.
Yes, I love looking at his art when I'm feeling low. I mean, not to judge it. I mean, the man is very successful. He's very up there.
Right.
He's gone this far, but if I could have a commission by him, it would absolutely, without a doubt, be a foot.
That would be great. I would love to be in line and back there behind you, waiting for you to go ahead and ask that, just so I can record it the whole time. I just want to see the expression and everything.
He'd probably say, I can't do that commission request. Like, what's your price? What's your price for it? And he'd say, nope, just can't do it.
It's probably on his list that he can't do. Did I say that out loud? That is so unlike me.
I mean, he incorporates them more into his like recent drawings. Of my friend had shown me something that he had done for him, and I saw a foot. I saw a foot. So, you know, he's doing it. He's going around about it. Alrighty. I feel like I'm in a good place where it's ready to be inked soon. Oh yeah.
Larry knows who we're talking about too. I figured it wouldn't go over too many heads, but I just don't want to throw it directly out there for everybody.
That's just something you know if you really know him. If you know, you know. That's it.
If you're actually in this industry and you've done a little bit of research, you know.
Oh yeah. Just a little bit. I think I had somebody tell me that, like, oh yeah, no. I watched a YouTube video, and it was revealed there.
And Larry, speaking of Evangeline, I actually have some books that we will be showing on Thursday, so you definitely want to be there for Thursday's show.
Oh yeah, Larry, you're at work. I was about to say you're such a night owl, but
Oh, he is. I mean, I'm surprising myself and surprising others because I'll be on here and I'll run into certain people and they'll be like, "What are you doing up so late?" And I'll be like, "Oh, what are you doing up so late?"
I know. Me, my sleep schedule of what I also like about the art life is my schedule is just it's never the same day to day. So I'm definitely gonna be up because finals, and Sequential art.
Hmm.
Gotta love college, man. Gotta love it. What's good is
Well,
that I've been taking a break from college and I've lost weight because I'm not eating Panera and Panda Express.
that is true.
Yeah.
That is definitely true. Not eating the stuff that I used to eat either by any means. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and say it's sad but true, but it was a couple weeks back. I actually broke down. I had to go out to do a quick grocery run anyway because we're trying to do like every 2 or 3 weeks only. And I happened to
Right.
go by the store and Taco Bell was open and I broke down. I had to do it. I went through and I bought like a 12-pack party box of tacos and a couple of
Oh
other
my
things.
gosh.
And I came back and Heather and I had them down here in the basement and we were just, I'm just going to tell you, there are nature documentaries that did not look as bad as what I was doing to those tacos at that point. It was like, oh my God, I haven't had you in so long.
Untamed and uncut. Y'all remember that show? They don't show that anymore unless it's like 4 in the morning and you just happen
Exactly.
to catch it. There we go. Now everybody can see my face. Hey
Exactly.
guys.
Ah, she has a face. Look at that.
I have a face. I have a face. It's not polished right now, but I have a face.
Well, that's okay. My hair's all messed up, so you're okay.
I actually understand that if I were to let go of what's holding my hair back, it's just gonna stay there. And it's not that it's not that I have product in there. It's just that it's so stiff. It's so coarse. Oh my
Well, I mean,
gosh.
I have had a great time having you on here tonight. I hope you've had a blast being here. I know we've had a blast with everyone who has stuck it out, and thank you for being here and
Pretty much, yeah.
having fun with us. Do you want to go ahead and give us last audible shout on where they can find you before we go ahead and take off?
Obviously, if you're on Facebook, you can find me either by my actual personal profile, which is always around, or my art-specific Facebook page, which is Ivanette.Rivas.Illustrations. You can find it at that. I'm most active on Instagram, and I believe the link is also tagged in the description. For any inquiries, you could just always message me, and I'll try to reply. If I don't take it personal. But I'll always be on top of it. Instagram's where I first post my stuff, and it goes to Facebook. So if anything, it's best to check there. And then also,
and I will have. Oh, go ahead.
Once more. I'll be on my spot for Creators Corner Comic Con line. There's a really sexy lineup. Like John Boy Myers is gonna be there. Oh my goodness, it is so early in the morning that I'm forgetting names. Mike Mayhew is going to be there. Ariel Diaz is going to be there. Like a whole bunch of cool people are going to be in this lineup. And I'm really lucky to be considered part of it. I will be there May 2nd, 8 to 9 p.m. That will be my time slot for you to
Excellent.
just come by, make jokes, say hi, whatever.
Hey, be careful what you wish for.
I'm gonna have to give Jim a warning. And Larry, I'm watching you, you simp. He just loves to crack that joke all the time.
Oh, yeah. But we've had a lot of fun, and thank you for being here. And I would like to do this again. If everyone else would have no problem with me bringing her back on, we can definitely do this. And we can definitely have some impromptu talks that we can do as well. I think that'd be great as well if you're interested in doing that.
Oh, definitely. I definitely had fun this evening. Now we're just gonna have to prepare with like coffee and Red Bull for next time, and then we'll just go live for the whole 4 hours. Screw it. Screw the sleep. We'll do a 4-hour live because that's all that they'll allow on Facebook.
Absolutely. Sounds great to me. I will make the coffee for that.
Oh yeah, I'll make sure I have the energy drinks smuggled in here.
Well, thank you for being here, and I am definitely looking forward to having you on again. And you have a great evening, and be safe over there. And I will be seeing you again here very soon.
All right. Thank you for having me. Appreciate the time. Appreciate seeing all you all of your lovely faces, not really faces, but your comments and the unlovely ones and everything in between. Very fun time.
All right. You have a great evening.
All right, thank you. You too, Phil.
All right. So we had Eve on here doing her live draw. She got most of the Donatello Turtle sketch done on there, which is looking amazing. Cannot wait to see the finished product on there. Like she said, she will, knowing her, she will be doing a live draw where she finishes up doing the inking and all. So you definitely want to pay attention to that. I will message her and let her know that we want to go ahead and get tagged in there so we can go ahead and see it. Thank you, everyone, for showing up tonight. We had a blast doing this. I hope you did as well. And as long as you're having fun with this and want to keep going, I'll keep going with it. So, Demon Phil, Comics from More New Jersey. Keep it indie, y'all.